Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this Madden 22 defensive plays video breakdown, we're going to take a look at the nickel 3-3-5 wide cover one contain, and we're going to show you how to get some outside pressure without having to make too many pre-snap adjustments. Let's go ahead and take a look at the play art here as you look at it and kind of look at some of the statistics of the particular defense that we're talking about here. So again, this is the cover one contain. You'll find it out in nickel 3-3-5 wide, and then on the personnel you got 3 defensive linemen, 5 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. As far as the coverage type, you've got man. Coverage shell is cover one. The blitz type is obviously a man blitz. The pressure is designed to come from the C gaps or from the outside. You got 5 pass rushers and then 6 pass defenders. 5 of those pass defenders are in man coverage, and then of course you have the free safety who's going to play in the deep middle of the field and deep zone. All right, let's go ahead and actually get into the field here and take a look at this particular defense, and we'll show you how to set this one up, and it's going to allow you to get that pressure on a quarterback. So as I mentioned, right now it's out at 3-3-5 wide as you look at it here, and we're going to go ahead and run it. And again, it's right here. We're going to be using this out of the Chargers playbook. If you're following along, just in case you guys want to go ahead and use that and just kind of watch as we go, you can go ahead and get into the Chargers playbook and you'll find it. As far as out of the defensive side, or excuse me, on the offensive side of the ball, we're going to do this from the gun bunch. And the plays I'm going to go ahead and choose right now is going to be, let's just take a look at one here. Let's take a look at the Z spot and go right here. That's the play we'll go ahead and show. And then we'll just kind of walk you guys through it as far as how we can go ahead and set up to go ahead and get some pressure on the quarterback with this defense. Now, as you look at this particular defense here, as I mentioned already, it's a cover one defense. And we're just going to go ahead and run this without making any adjustments at all. And I just want to show you what will happen. Obviously, more likely, we're not going to get any pressure on the quarterback. But I just want to go ahead and show that and what it's designed to do. Mainly, with the contained defenses, as you know, it's designed to keep the quarterbacks from rolling out to the left or right. So without making any adjustments, we're not really going to get any pressure. So what I like to show you guys here is the easiest thing to go ahead and do, let me get off this right here, is to go ahead and take control of this linebacker. Let's go ahead and zoom back in here. And what we're going to show you is how to set this one up. So you can see right there that I'm in control of him. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move him up into this area here. And then I don't have to do anything else as far as with this. Only thing I got to do is once the ball is snapped, I can go ahead and release him. And a lot of times what you're going to find, here's go zoom back out, you're going to get some pressure coming off the edge from this particular linebacker out here on the left side of the screen, which is going to be your right outside linebacker. So let's go ahead and just watch it, and you'll see what happens there. And you can see right there we instantly get pressure on the quarterback. Now, the cool thing about that is your opponent might be thinking as he's looking at this, and when he sees this, he might be thinking, well, geez, if this guy is going to be lined up, let's go ahead and move him back over there. If this guy's going to be lined up way over here, then maybe my halfback is going to be wide open as he goes out to the left. But if you notice, when we showed you just a second ago, what happened was he was able to still get over there and cover him. So that's not a big thing when you do this. Now, if you want, you can try to move him around in this area here as well. I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen here. And you might still be able to get over there, and you still get that pressure on the quarterback. So that's the other option. You can kind of mislead him a little bit, thinking that that guy's too far over in this area here, and try to make him think that maybe that running back's going to be open. Or you can simply just move him over in this direction here, and you can get those same results without having to do too much as far as the setup. That's really it as far as the setup is concerned. You really don't have to do anything else if you choose not to, and you're going to get some pressure on the quarterback. However, what if our opponent decides to leave the running back in the pass block? So let's go ahead and look at that here. You can see right there I've got him staying in the pass block as you look at your screen there. So let's go ahead and do this. Now, with that said, the reason I like to put him in this area here is a lot of times once the ball is snapped, if this running back is staying in the pass block, he's going to look to block to the inside. And if everything goes well, I should still be able to get the pressure on the quarterback here who will come through that outside there. Now, I can't always guarantee that's going to happen. And one of the things you want to watch for once the ball is snapped, you want to go ahead and watch and make sure and see what this guy does. If he automatically goes out towards this direction, then obviously you've got to release him. But if you see him kind of go in a little bit like this, then what you can do is you can go ahead and manually rush if you so choose, or you can release that guy that you're in control of And what will happen is he'll actually go back into QB spy. So there's a couple different things you can do with this defense. The other thing I will mention to you, once this ball is snapped, what I like to do is, especially if I see that that guy is staying in the pass block, as far as the running back, then I might go ahead and have this guy kind of go this direction here, and then I might release him. And you'll see why here in just a second. I'll explain it to you in a second as we go through this. So you can go do this, and then what you're hoping for is that linebacker on the outside can still get around, and that running back can't get back in time to go ahead and defend it. Let's go ahead and do the same thing again with the running back and go ahead and leave him in the pass block. Now, I'm not saying it's always going to work this way, but at least gives you a chance just in case that running back comes in there. And there's what I was just showing you, and then you still get that pressure. So watch the running back, see if he steps in or steps up. Let's go ahead and watch him again here. Let's go into slow motion here. See how he does this right there? He steps in. If you see that, then you know that he's not going out. And then you can go ahead and hopefully he gets in far enough where he gets himself out of position, and then this linebacker can still get to the quarterback. Now, there's the other thing too. If you're playing against an opponent who likes to drop his quarterback a little bit further back, so this is the natural drop. I'm allowing the quarterback, basically the CPU's in control of him. That's his natural drop. But if your opponent likes to drop him even a little bit further back, I guarantee your linebacker's still going to get to him. If the computer's in control of him, then he may not drop as far back and he may not always get it. But at least you can see on the screen. And then if you want, you can go ahead and release this guy and allow him to do whatever he does. In this case, he's actually going out here. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit over here. You can see this guy's actually going to go out there to cover that, go out here and cover over here. But you can mess around with it and you can get some different things with it. Or you can stay in control of them if you want, and then you can drop over the middle of the field and take away, maybe possibly in this case, if we look over here, let's go ahead and zoom in again. This guy right here is coming across on that deep end route. You might really go ahead and drop into that area and help defend this if you want. So there's a lot of things you can do if you want to stay in control of that defender. I just wanted to show you what would happen if you go ahead and rush him to the right. It should allow you to get that pressure off the edge coming from the linebacker right there. So that's one of the things you can do with this particular defense. Now, of course, I didn't show the press coverage, so you can go ahead and use press coverage if you want as well and do the same thing. So I'm just going to move him up here this time. Just kind of make my opponent make me think that he's not in coverage. But watch what happens again. I'm about 2 to 3 yards off the line of scrimmage. You're still going to get that edge pressure there off the edge. So that's all you got to do with that as far as with this particular defense to get pressure. Now, the other thing you can try to do is you can go ahead and bring him up and then release him. And then what you're hoping for is he's close enough. Now, I can't always guarantee this is going to work, but you're hoping that he's close enough where the lineman will at least look to block him, and this will slide this left tackle to the inside here, and it allows us to get that pressure from the outside. Can't guarantee this is always going to happen, though. In this case, you can see it, the linebacker was picked up by the left tackle. So that's not a guarantee there if you do what I just showed you. I can't guarantee that you're going to get the pressure by simply taking control of this guy and then moving him down in this area here. You can try some different things and maybe you'll get the pressure, but more than likely you're probably not going to get this if you do what I'm showing here and you just release him. Like, for example, I just released him. Now I'm in control of the safety here. You may not get that pressure on the quarterback. So most of the time, the best way to make this work is to stay in control of him, and that'll allow him to get the pressure. Now, another couple other things I want to point out as we're going through this breakdown. This defender over here, as you look at your screen, which is going to be this outside linebacker. Now, remember, he's in QB contain, correct? He's supposed to be coming up the field in this area here, and he's supposed to be in QB contain. One of the things I'll suggest to you, especially if you got a elite pass rusher such as Bosa is here, maybe what you want to do is before you take control of that linebacker is to go ahead and re-blitz him, because that's going to put him not in QB contain anymore. Now it's going to make him rush. And I'm not so sure in QB contain if they lose their rush abilities as far as their X-factor abilities, because it seems to me he doesn't get as much pressure when he's in QB contain as he does if he's in a blitz. So I would suggest putting him in the blitz just for that reason. Again, I'm not 100% sure if that's really accurate. I just know from what I've watched, it doesn't seem like he's able to get the edge rush pressure that I would like him to. And I guess that kind of makes sense because when you think about the edge rush or the blitz, that's when he's rushing, not in QB contained. So I think that might have something to do with it. So at any rate, I would suggest doing that. And then you might really get that edge pressure off the edge with him a little bit better. Right there's, for example, now you just saw us get the pressure there. Now, the only bad thing about that, what you just saw, is that we didn't get the outside pressure there. So let's go ahead and do this one more time here. And we'll go ahead and bring him up into this area here. And that time we got it. So we got the edge pressure, and then it gives that that linebacker, the outside linebacker on the right of your screen there, a better chance if you put him in the blitz angle. All right, so that's a couple things you can do right there I wanted to point out as you're going through this. Again, I try to be as detailed as I can. Another thing you can do if you want is you can always bring the safety up if you want. You want to make your opponent think it's maybe a cover zero defense. Now, that's up to you. Now, this is going to be a little bit more risky, but you can bring him down in here, and then you don't even have to control that linebacker if you don't want to. You control the safety this time. So a lot of you guys I know like to control your safeties. And then you can do this, what I'm showing here. And then you can allow that guy to drop back and go ahead and play the deep middle of the field or whatever you choose to do with this guy. So that's another option. If you wanted to, you can always move him to this side. And you're still going to get that outside pressure off the edge. So there's a lot of things you can do with this defense to try to confuse your opponent that's going to allow you to do some different things. Another thing you might want to do, for example, if you want to kind of defend maybe the short middle of the field, and this comes back to what I've talked about before, maybe down inside the red zone, you want him to play the hook zone over the short middle of the field, then you can simply do this. You can go ahead and have him do that if you want while you're in control of him, or you can release him, allow him to play the hook zones. The nice thing about this setup, what I'm showing you, I'm going to go ahead and control the quarterback this time. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'm going to try to control both of these guys here. This particular play has this particular receiver, as you look at your screen, this guy right here, he's kind of running this double move in here into the inside. And if you were to do this, let's just go ahead and show you what would happen here. You might get him in a little better position to defend that while you're in control of him. So that's just something else you can look at, maybe some different things you can do with this guy as far as if you want to bring the safety down. Or just keep in mind, if you do this and you go in the hook zone, then you are risking the chance of getting beat deep, especially if you go ahead and do press coverage, which is what I'm doing right here on the outside. That could be a little bit more risky move. But I just wanted to point that out to you guys. That's something else you guys can do here. Right there, we still get the pressure on the outside. Plus, we're able to defend that one particular route I just wanted to talk about. So that's kind of some different things. I was just, food for thought as you guys are watching these particular breakdown that I'm showing here. You can see right now, that guy is not open. There's no way that our opponent is going to be able to make this throw into this area here and complete it because we're sitting right on it. We're going to take that away. And if that's what he was really looking to throw to initially, maybe he's locked down to that receiver, then as you can see, he's going to get sacked by this guy right here. He's going to get sacked. He ain't going to get enough time. So at any rate, guys, I hope this is a helpful breakdown of this particular play and something that you can use to go ahead and get some coverage sacks because you're going to get some guys coming in pretty quick. That one guy on the outside, the right outside linebacker, is going to get in pretty darn quick. One last thing I did want to point out, the faster he is, the more success you'll have. Matter of fact, I would recommend at least an 84 speed linebacker rather than a slower linebacker because a lot of times he may get picked up. Matter of fact, let's go back in here. I wanted to end this video breakdown right at that point, but I do want to show you something real quick here so you guys can see it, that this might be something that you'll consider as you're running this that's going to kind of change up what you're thinking about here. So let's go back in here and go into let's go into the depth chart here and take a look at this. And I want to show you this because this is kind of important when you're doing this. And obviously, I think most of us already know this. Anytime you got a faster defender coming after the quarterback, the better chance that you are going to have as far as getting pressure on a quarterback. So if you look at this one, you can see right here that boasts an 81 speed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch, but I want to show you the other guy's speed as well. And his speed is, I can't really pronounce his name, but this gentleman right here is an 84 speed. So you can see that that's what I was saying earlier. Probably get 84 or better, and you'll get a better chance with this pressure on the quarterback when you set up the way I'm showing it. Let me go ahead and show you one last thing with this because I want to get on with this, and then we'll get out of this breakdown. If you go to the packages, we're going to go ahead and do the outside linebacker flip, and then we're going to go back into the QB contain. This time we'll just run a spacing switch play. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just bring this guy up. And now just keep in mind as you look at it, Bosa's now lined up over here. And I went ahead and bring my my defender, my linebacker up here like I've been showing. Now watch what happens. He may get blocked off the edge on occasion because he's just a little bit slower. So there's always that chance that he may get blocked because he doesn't get off the block or get off the get going off the line as fast as far as line of scrimmage going after the quarterback. Now I'm not saying that's always going to happen. Plus, throwing the fact a couple other things. Since he's slower, even though it's only a 3 speed rating points difference, he's going to get to the quarterback a little bit slower. And remember earlier I talked about putting him on a hot route and re-blitzing him. If you've got an edge rusher on the other side, that's going to allow you to get that extra heat on the outside from the right side of the offensive line and from the left side as well by doing what I'm showing here. So let's go back in here one more time here. So he still gets the pressure on the quarterback. So there's a lot of things about this particular defense that goes into play. And I just wanted to point that out to you, some different things you can do to just think about as you're going through this setup that allow you to get the pressure on the quarterback. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get out of this video breakdown quite long again. And I know some of you guys out there may gripe a little bit that I get a little bit too lengthy on some of these video breakdowns. But I prefer to be thorough about what I'm showing, and that way you guys understand everything that can possibly go on when you're running the defense. So at any rate, this one is called the nickel 335 wide cover 1 contain. We're looking to get pressure from the left side of the offensive line with the right outside linebacker, who should get a free release at the quarterback.